September the 20th, 2020. Guys, you're looking at satellite images over the U.S., and you've got two storms. In the Gulf of Mexico, you've got Tropical Storm Beta. And notice that it's been throwing up moisture from south of Galveston, Texas, all the way back into the Florida Panhandle. It's raining along the Mississippi coast. Been doing that for a few days. Galveston, you're getting wind and high waves. Again, it's creeping at about 3 or 4 miles an hour, but I think tomorrow night would be the impact somewhere south of Galveston, which is going to throw your northeast quadrant into Galveston Bay. And you can already see it on the webcams, and we'll take a look around those. Now, you got colder weather up in the north, but here's Teddy. And this front that we see, that's actually the moisture streaming up through the front, is coming from Beta in the Gulf of Mexico. And it's been beautiful weather here in the south, guys, in the 70s right now. I mean, that's the perfect weather for me. I wish it would stay like that year round. But Teddy looks like it's going to come up into Halifax, guys. Somewhere in the central area, then move up towards St. John's. That's the models are coming together on that. Both the Canadian model and the Navy model are focusing the impact points now again in Halifax. If you look at back into the Gulf, Beta is supposed to come ashore again here, and then the models are coming together on this one also, and loop back to the east, but more than likely now on shore as the loop comes back over through Louisiana into Mississippi, which will keep the storm from strengthening, but it's going to add a lot more moisture to what we're seeing. Now, here in central Mississippi, we're just below these purple clouds here. I mean, just above them. Got a few, you can see a few in the sky there, but it's been dry since the tropical storm that came through just before Hurricane Laura. It's been pretty much dry here, maybe a couple sprinkles, not much happening. We could use a little more rain in central Mississippi. Again, Hattiesburg down the coast area, you guys have been getting for a few days. I've been checking that radar out. But we're going to take a look at a couple models, and then I want to show you some of the webcams. And just quickly before we go there, let's look at a close-up of the Gulf itself. You've got some storms down in the Bay of Campeche. Notice that. But here we've got the center of circulation moving, I think, about 3 miles an hour now, 60 mile per hour sustained winds. It's not predicted to become a hurricane now. That's a good thing. But it moves into this area of Texas. You can see Galveston in Houston area, all the way over to the Louisiana border. You're going to get the bad side of the storm. You're already getting moisture. Again, I think from all the wobbling and the slowness of the storm, the upper level wind shear that you see moving from left to right has torn it down, and that is, I think, is what's keeping it from becoming a hurricane right now. It's just too much upper level shear. Now, looking at the storm surge of Beta, it's not that's bad compared to what we've seen lately, 2 to 4 feet along the Texas coastline, and then dropping back 1 to 3 feet across Louisiana and the Mississippi coast, 1 to 2 feet down towards Mexico past Baffin Bay and at the mouth of the Rio Grande. But it's enough to make sure that you're aware of it if you're in low-lying areas, especially in Texas, because after that point, guys, the storm will be weakening as it comes back across Louisiana. Now, this model is about an hour or so old, but it's looking pretty accurate. You've got tropical storm warnings out along the Texas coast all the way back to central Louisiana. They're saying the storm is going to move in here into central Texas coast, south of the Houston area. But depending on exactly where it comes ashore will depend on who gets this right side, the northeast quadrant. And that's going to happen, guys, around 7 a.m. Tuesday. It should be ashore. So that's saying tomorrow night the storm will be coming in. It will be another nightfall storm. 7 a.m. Wednesday, it's up north of Houston as a depression. Continues through that as it moves through central Louisiana, covers a good bit of Mississippi and Arkansas and into Tennessee, according to these models. So a lot of places need some rain that haven't been affected by these storms. And like I said, since Hurricane Laura, hasn't been that much here. So it would help to have some rain. Not storms, but rain. And speaking of storms, watch for waterspouts and tornadoes as this thing starts to come ashore and move back to the right, guys. We'll be watching it All of these links are on our website at bpearthwatch.com, from all the hurricane models to the satellite imaging to the National Weather Service, which gives you your tornado warnings and things like that. So pay attention to all of those models. Now, we're dealing with a smaller storm now as far as sustained winds, 105 miles per hour. The movement is northwest at 9 miles an hour, and it looks like Halifax is going to take the brunt. Both the Canadian model now and the Navy model are showing this somewhere in this area by 8 a.m. Wednesday morning. So just think about that Tuesday night. And then going by 8 a.m. Thursday, clearing St. John's back into the Atlantic. And then you guys further north, keep an eye on this thing. Again, it's just going to be a tropical storm. But we've seen some powerful tropical storms this year. Now, looking at the seawall cam in Galveston, Texas, guys, along the beach here, you can see the surface up. And earlier this morning, there were people out there surfing. It's kind of hard unless they zoom in here to see it. But the surface definitely up. You can see it coming under the pier out there, out on that seawall bar restaurant. Check that out. Winds up, clouds are ominous. You can see the direction that they're coming in on you guys. In Galveston, you've had your fair share this year of storms, close and near hits there. But just keep an eye on this, guys. It's going to come in. You're going to be on the north side of the storm. You can see that in the clouds, and you can see it in the wind. It's going to come in south of you more than likely. Exactly where we still have until another day to see if any of the models change. And I want to go back and look over into Bay St. Louis, Mississippi. Now, this is the west side of Mississippi, close to the Louisiana border, closer to the storm, guys. And this is the Silver Slipper webcam up top of the casino. And it's raining. It's kind of hard to see, but you can definitely tell by the clouds and the buffering of the camera by the wind that we're feeling it. Here, it's sunny, partly cloudy, but you can feel that tropical breeze through the trees, and you can see it. Now, let's move over kind of over on the other side of the state, guys, in Biloxi. And you can see that across our beaches, from one end to the other, we're seeing this rain and wind. And this is called the Lighthouse Cam, guys, if you've ever been there. A few years ago, I was down here during a hurricane and filmed a big water spout come through here. It's an amazing video. If I can find it, I'll put it back up. It was on the old channel. But that moisture is stretching, again, across the coast. And shout out to all our friends in the Panhandle, guys. You still got probably over 100,000 people without power from the last storm that came through there. So, you know, keep those people in mind. It would be good if you know people in an area to check with them, make sure they're okay. There's a lot of bridges and road damage. A lot of the marinas are damaged or completely demolished. So there's a lot going on, and there's a lot of closures in that area. But if you know folks in the area, check on them, make sure they got water, things like that. We just don't have a lot of information coming out right now. But guys, we're watching this. It's a heads up for Texas, and then we're going to have some rain doubling back on us. Be safe.